Welcome to the Animation Weekly Recap.
Animation Weekly Recap. And this is, if this is your first time, this is something where I'm a father,
Lovely to have you.
daughter. We're happy to have you. We both are here from Pencilish Animation Studios.
We are.
I'm the CEO, and she's the Director of Communications.
Nice.
I got it.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you hired me.
Yeah. And so she's a little bit newer in the animation industry. I'm a little bit older in the animation industry. And so, yeah, so she picks out topics, we discuss them,
Yes.
and hopefully have a lot of fun while we're doing it.
Yeah, it's like what's in the news that week. Usually the news topic never gets discussed and we kind of go into a different realm of banter.
Right.
But we generally attempt to circle back.
Yes.
So it's exciting stuff.
It's exciting, and you love it. And
Yeah.
So just tune in, let it play, listen to a little bit of light debate, and then you put in the comments.
Yeah,
like
but
what
the
you guys
nonverbal
felt.
facial cues really matter in this.
Right. So yeah, you can't be working. You gotta be
No.
eyes glued to our faces for
Yeah.
sure. The whole time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I blew out my hair for you. I'm just kidding.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I've been working on rollers.
Very jealous of that hair.
I
Yeah.
bet you are.
You know it.
It's shiny, squeaky.
I wiped that off and it's still shiny. But
Yeah.
let's dig in.
Let's dig in because this is a big week for one thing in particular. Last week when we were shooting, it was 2 days before the Oscar nominees got dropped.
Boom.
So now we can finally discuss, and I actually have
There's
a
some
joint
surprises.
statement.
Some prizes, right?
Surprises?
Were you surprised by the list?
Not necessarily.
Really?
What in particular? Conclave is all over it.
Well, I'm
That,
talking
I
about,
guess.
since it's an animation
sorry.
recap, I was talking about the animation category, and I was talking about Moana 2. Boop. Not even listed.
Really? I guess I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, you didn't think about it, did
Well,
you?
they only have, is it always only 5 nominees?
That's a good question. I know it's very...
All the other categories look like it.
Yeah, it does feel like a shorter list. I think it varies, and I think it's gone up to 7 or 8 at times, but...
Yeah, I kind of think it
could
is
be
just
wrong.
4. Or 5, I mean.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Moana 2 is out. And Inside Out 2 made it in. No, if we want to talk about shocking, Wallace and Gromit. How do they always get in there?
I don't know.
The amount of times we've unnecessarily talked about them in the past couple months feels way too overdone.
Nearly accidental talking about them because we didn't want to.
No, we just joke about the way that
we're
they
there.
just squeeze their way into everything.
And here's the thing. I used to love Wallace and Gromit. When it first came out, it was funny. It was hilarious.
I liked it.
It's been going for
When
a
I was
long
a
time
child.
now. And I think we both probably are feeling the same thing, which is like, okay, it's, how different is one Wallace and Gromit from another? And that's where I'm at. And so to think that it's Academy Award nominated. So here's the thing. 3 of these films are what I would call independent films. And Wallace and Gromit is one. You may or may not consider that independent. But it's not from one of the majors. It's from a major minor, I guess is what you could call
Wait, is
it.
Memoir of a Snail about the snail that was famous that I used to watch as a kid?
No.
Oh.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but no. But Memoirs of a Snail and Flo, both of those are low-budget indie films. So we got
Can't
3
believe
films.
Flo made it. I'm so excited for them.
Yeah. So the big ones, Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot, everybody knew those 2 would be on there.
Right. I
That
actually
wasn't a
come
surprise.
bearing good news. This was my update. I've been working on my list to watch.
Oh, have you?
And I watched The Wild Robot.
Good. I want to hear what did you think?
Okay, starting out, I was like, is this a remake of WALL-E?
Interesting.
Then
because they have robots, both of them?
well, yeah, just it was all it's kind of a similar concept where the robot is left behind.
Okay.
And in a world it shouldn't be.
I could see that. Yeah, that's...
And so I was
Same.
like, is this WALL-E? And then it kind of moved into is this WALL-E meets Brother Bear?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Iron Giant.
I could catch
'Cause
Iron
there's
Giant
definitely
vibes.
an Iron Giant because Iron Giant starts with a
1000%.
robot
Oh, I gotta watch
that's
that movie again. Mm-hmm.
damaged, doesn't remember what it is or who it is, and lives in this sort of foresty area, almost the same.
Did Chris Sanders work on Iron Giant?
I don't believe he did.
I could actually very much agree with. I love that movie. I gotta watch that again. I haven't seen it forever.
That's a great movie.
Anyways, and I liked it. I actually really enjoyed it. I felt like some of it I was like missing. It was missing something, and I can't even really say what it was. I think it felt like I actually know exactly what it was.
What?
It felt like the robot was missing, like, character. And I know that it's a robot, and I get that it's like building its own character and like bypassing the system to do it.
To get some personality and emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
But like they still managed in WALL-E to give a robot a personality.
He just had
like he had cues, like nonverbal, like he would always like clip his things together and like be all nervous like this.
Nervous. Yeah.
And like I just felt like the robot felt so like hard exterior. It didn't have like little cues that it gave that made it like
Well, I'm glad we're
endearing.
talking about this. So we're on a detour here, but I have a feeling you guys like it, so we're going to stay with it. The difference between those two films, though, is they went right away that WALL-E had been there for whatever 100 years. It was a long time, and he had developed emotions and feelings and all that, and they just started there. And you saw it with the bug. He had a friend that was a bug, and before the other robot came,
right?
And so they just started with him having emotions. In this one, they're like, no, this was a clinically cold robot that then sort of slowly develops emotions.
Yeah.
So it's a little different there. But I will say this.
It took longer to do it than it should have.
It did. I totally agree. So I agree with you. To me, I don't look at a lot of the characters in The Wild Robot. So great movie and all that. And but it got hyped so high, and I think that's probably what you're feeling.
Added to
it's
it.
Like so many more people were calling it a masterpiece.
Agree.
And I'm like you. I'm all about personality and character and emotions in a film. And especially one like this where it really is an emotional film.
Right. I mean, it ended with chills. Like, I'm going to
say this, and Chris Sanders, I hope you're not watching right now, because this is a little bit bold and it could sound mean. I didn't really care about the characters a whole lot.
There wasn't enough character development.
Like even the fox, he got there a little bit in the end, but a lot
All
of it
them,
was
I felt like
very
a little
much
bit. Yes.
At the end.
The bird
right?
at the end then loved the robot.
Yes.
And like it was like, and honestly, the ones I loved, like I felt like had the most character development. Weirdly enough, was like the possum and her kids. They were like the most lovable because I felt like they had the most personality.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I didn't really get into the like heart of these characters, like you said, until the last 5 minutes. And I will say, I left that film being like chills.
Yeah.
Like it really did have a great ending, and then it hopped right back into the credit sequence. Like kind of was emotional and stuff, and I thought it was really sweet. The last 5 minutes though, or 15 maybe, but like there was, I felt like way too much a building of the robot getting its own character. We didn't really find that out till later, that she was bypassing it and all that stuff.
I thought that it felt very tagged on at the end.
It felt brushed over.
When did that happen? How did it? Oh, okay.
I just thought, WALL-E, they don't get into it. It's just, he has character. And like, I felt like they could have just slowly shown it become a mom. And I felt like it was the quickest mention ever, that it was like, oh, it like when all of a sudden the other...
Careful. We haven't said spoiler alert or anything.
Okay, I'm like the last to ever see The Wild Robot.
No, well, yeah, we can assume a lot of you have seen it by now, but it's still fairly fresh. It's fair to say spoiler alert.
When all the things... At this point, spoiler alert, yeah. When all the bad people that are like from the headquarters go to...
Yeah.
Like try and take it, which felt random. Which felt random because she was putting out her little beeper 1 million times before that.
Yeah.
She was a runner.
Yeah.
And then it's like...
She's a runner.
She was. Anything bad ever happened, she was like, gotta go back. And it's like, wait.
Time to go.
Confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then it was like, suddenly they show up. Then they mention how it's messed up that she's been overriding it, which was never mentioned again because I was confused on the final scene when the duck comes and finds her at the job site working in the fields.
Yep.
And she knows the duck. Because the whole point of the film was that they were trying to take over the override and take away her memories.
Yes.
And then she goes to the place and they never take her memories?
I was confused by that too. Yep.
Weird. Because, confused. The whole thing was that they were breaking her out because they were taking her memories.
And I haven't seen the movie in a while. She's fresh to it. And so I don't remember all the details, but I do agree feeling all those thoughts, thinking those things.
Also confused. I know it's a kid's film, but usually there's more to it. And
it's not a kid's film. It's for adults.
Is it? Okay.
Continue.
Right. Anyways, also, I lost my train of thought.
All animated films are for adults too.
I was confused / I was just confused why the whole town went through the effort to save her from her memory being taken and being taken from those people.
Yeah.
They get back down. The entire town is destroyed. And the first thing she says is I must go back. I actually have to go.
Do you mean town? You mean forest?
The whole forest town.
Oh, gotcha.
Is destroyed because they all saved her.
Yeah.
She's saved. And instead of being yay, I'm safe, she's I gotta go with them, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving me. Bye. Mm-hmm. And then she's just gone.
And I can't remember why she felt that way.
She mentioned that it was so quick, too. This was all quick. The ending was, very brief.
Yeah.
Anyways, she mentioned that they'll keep trying to come back to take me.
Oh. So you're supposed to think, seeing all that destruction, oh my gosh, I don't want this to keep happening.
But you wouldn't think that because she had no character.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think there was so many different things. There wasn't any influctuation in her voice. Mm-hmm. That really gave her a character that you could tell her emotions.
Yeah.
There was, Wally would go, Wally. And, you could kind of, Eva. You could see when he was, happy or sad.
Just doing that. I was oh.
I know. He's so
fuzzies.
Cute. But hers was so robotic. There was no change in her tone. No fluctuations.
I wouldn't say no, but, they have a good actress that played, and you could tell they went to her because she's got a voice.
Isn't it Lupita?
Yeah, I don't know her name, but yeah.
Nyong'o or something? She's in a lot.
Yeah, but she obviously can do warm acting and has a warm voice. So I think it was interesting to pick her, have her be kind of very robotic probably in general in her, how she's saying, and I'm sure they did soften it, but maybe it just wasn't enough, or I don't know. We didn't get enough out of it.
I did enjoy it. All I was doing was dissing it. I enjoyed it. I probably, wouldn't go, watch it many times. I would maybe give it a second.
Now, I know this isn't
probably not a third.
Your forte, but, what did you think artistically? Did it feel... Because that's the other thing everybody's talking about is, oh, my gosh, it's so different. It's so painterly looking.
I could see that. I actually was, kind of confused when I first... the first couple scenes. I was this is blurry. And then I was oh, this is a cool style. But
blurry. That's an interesting take on that, actually.
Well, that's my non-artistic way of saying it.
I know, but yeah,
it felt a little bit smeared. And then I was okay, I get their style. What is that called? It's not no, it's
well, painterly is kind of how they usually go about it.
Yeah.
Or slightly abstract painting, not abstract.
Well, and there wasn't fine lines. It was just but then I ended up enjoying it. I enjoyed it. I liked the style for sure.
Yeah.
I think Flo is like that too, right?
As noticeable. Yeah, I think Flo has that. You're right. A same kind of texture look to it.
Flo, I think, is even more.
We got to see Flo. So Flo's next, right?
Flo's next. I actually tried to watch it the other day, but it cost money.
Yeah. I was going to go to Uncle Tony's house and watch it because he's in the academy, and he'll tell you that every 2 seconds. But he
loves talking about the academy.
He loves, here's...
It's a personality
I'm not supposed
trait.
to tell you, but here's who I voted for. But yeah, anyway, he invited me over. We were going to watch that on Sunday because he's, it's free. But it is on Amazon Prime, and so I'll probably just get it on Prime and watch it.
Yeah, well, I will say, I wonder if he voted for Emilia Perez, because I'm hearing a lot about that now.
I don't know much about that movie, but I will say this.
It's all over it.
It had the number one amount. 17 nominations for that Emilia Perez that I'd never even heard about.
So my podcast was talking about it, and then they were talking about all the mixed reviews that are well, not even really mixed. Yeah, everybody's saying they're shocked it's put in there.
Yeah.
And that it's the worst movie they've ever seen.
Oh.
And now I'm on like the TikTok side of it. That's like trying to watch Amelia Perez. And it's like they don't make it like 30 seconds.
I hope I can get through it this time.
It's like,
yeah.
Apparently it's bad. All I know is it's about like some mafia guy that goes transgender.
Oh, really?
And it's a musical.
I knew it was a musical. I heard that part.
And apparently it's like, there's a song that...
Wait, Amelia used to be a guy in that movie and he becomes Amelia?
That's literally all I know.
Or is Amelia somebody else?
No, I think he's becoming Amelia.
Oh.
It's unknown because I haven't seen it, obviously. Is it a comedy? No, I don't think so.
I don't know anything about this movie.
Except there's like a song apparently that's like, and they're like, penis to vagina, male to female, penis to vagina. And like, that's how it's sung. Like apparently it's like.
You said that.
I'm singing a song.
I know.
But apparently it's like, just like not even, I think maybe it was put in because of like its plot. With the Academy being very the type, I would think to be, they go for the like trendy, political stance.
Right. They do, of course. Yes.
So that's what I think it must be because everybody else has been like, I literally can't watch this, whether the plot of it or
here's
not.
Here's the thing, and this is on your side of the argument of like, wow, the Academy just did it because it's got all this.
This has happened before.
Political correctness or whatever you want to call it, or wokeness. If I've never even heard of it, I'd barely heard of it, and saw a little bit of a trailer or something, and then it gets 17 nominations. I mean, come on.
Something's off. I remember this happened a couple years ago. I can't remember what film it was, and it was like a very political film that like no one in the real world was watching.
Right.
And it got like a bunch of Oscar nominations, and it was like all the talk that everybody was like, what even is this film? No one's ever seen it.
Yeah. It does feel like, and I'm going to say a blanket statement, and you could dig into what got nominated and probably prove me wrong, but it feels like based on the animation ones that got nominated, and now Amelia Perez and a few others, that it was almost like Hollywood was trying to make a statement like, look, we're anti-Hollywood. We want to go for our small indie films this year.
I can see that. I mean, I can agree with that.
You think about the buzz. Now, Wild Robot is the exception because that's got a ton of buzz, and that isn't.
And Wicked.
Well, and Wicked. But Wicked got, what, 1 or 2 nominations?
Not as much as it should have. I mean.
Did it get Best Actress?
And Best Supporting Actress.
And then, I'm sure, a song.
It was in song. Wild Robot's in score as well.
Yeah.
And then it has, I think, Best Film, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Yeah, it is.
There it is. Costume design. Not director, which is shocking.
I did hear that a lot of people were upset about it not getting Best Director.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oh, and then it's in film editing.
So
it's in a lot.
Just to get it back to animation, there were a couple that I was really pushing for, and I think we talked about this in the last podcast, and both of them didn't get in there.
The 21?
The 21 was a animated short that was made by my buddy Todd Polson, and I really wanted it to get nominated. And the other one would have been for Best International Feature Film, and that would have been for another friend, Usman Ruiz.
Oh, The Glass.
Did it, yeah, first Pakistani animated feature film, The Glass Worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't get nominated either. So both of those, that was, pretty. The 21, it's almost a crime, I will say, because
it's Christian.
It's a masterpiece, though, artistically a masterpiece, and I can definitely say that. If you watch the 21 and you walk away from that going, it's not. You can't, because not only emotionally, because it's actually happened. It's got some live action footage of these hostages that end up being martyred, killed by terrorists.
I actually didn't know that's what that meant.
Yeah, that's they're killed.
I think they call it ILD online, so you don't get canceled.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Do they?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard undead. They've been.
Oh
undead.
yes, they've been
undeaded.
You're like chronically online.
I like TikTok. I'm glad it's back. Yay. I got it like.
That was a rough
Yeah, I got a big bump right before it went down. Like the week or two, I had a viral video that went like over 1.5 million almost of views. And then like the next week, it was supposed to go away. And I got 17,000 new followers.
I thought you were going to say dollars.
In a week. No, I don't make any money off TikTok. But, well, I don't want them to have my bank account.
China?
I'm a little old fashioned that way, yeah. So, but anyway.
I'll put in my bank account,
Long story
don't
short,
worry.
I was kind of happy that it came back in like half a day. So.
Yeah. Anyways, and what I was saying about the 21, it's faith-based, so it would never make it.
Well, and
Oscars.
strangely enough, this really happened. They have live footage, and some of it is cut into the movie, and it's these terrorists, and clearly terrorists.
Oh, whoa!
And I can't remember which terrorists this was, because this was back before COVID. I can't remember, but it's like, we'll say it's 2018 or even a little bit earlier that this actually happened. And I really think it's not just that it's Christian, but it's because it's politically incorrect, because it's saying that there are bad people in the Middle East. And, well, guess what?
Oh, yeah, that's a true fact.
Bad people all over
Literally
the world.
everywhere.
But you can't talk about the Middle East.
No, you can't.
Because then it gets into the, is it?
It sucks because he really never had a shot, probably.
Well, I kind of do agree with that. I think he didn't, unfortunately. They did a big push.
You can't mix those two things.
They did a nice job on trying to get it out there, and, it was seen.
It was on the long list, wasn't it?
Yeah, a short list. It was on the short list, yeah.
Well, that's a bummer. But the nominees for short films are Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yucky.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't think I've seen any of those.
Never even heard of them.
Yeah.
And then we have the features. We said Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, The Wild Robot.
So, Memoir of a Snail, I feel bad I didn't see that one yet either.
I have no interest. I haven't heard a thing about it.
And I have to see Flow for sure. I will see Flow for sure. Because that won the Golden Globe, as we talked about before.
Crazy.
Now nominated and may win. There's a good chance it could win.
I would say it's between The Wild Robot and Flow.
That's what I would say the same thing. I think
with Inside Out being third if they were ranking.
Right. Inside Out has a chance, obviously.
Who's fighting for fourth or fifth? Memoir of a Snail or Wallace and Gromit?
That might. I mean, could you imagine if Wallace and Gromit won it, or even Memoir of a Snail?
That would actually be crazy.
We almost had the director of Memoir of a Snail on our podcast, and I wish we would have done that. It was kind of our fault. We dropped the ball on that one, but it would have been nice to have, gotten a little caught up on that.
We're 23 minutes in.
We better get
going. I
feel
like we should just do one more.
We could. Let's do it.
Okay, let's just do one more. I knew that would end up being longer.
Love to hear your comments on who do you think is going to be Best Picture winner for animation.
Yeah, I'm interested to know also if anybody agrees with our take on The Wild Robot. Yeah. Potentially overhyped. IDK.
It's still a great movie. I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
Chris, I love you. You've made a great movie.
I don't think he's watching this, Dad.
I think he is. But I just want you to know that. And that, obviously, I
enjoyed it.
It's a movie you should not feel bad about loving. It's a great film.
It's a great film.
We're being a little bit picky, but I must admit.
That's what our job is. We're literally here to discuss.
But that's a big one. I feel like I walked away and I didn't really care about many of those characters, if any. I
know. I think if Chris is watching, if you make a second, just more character development.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great at that.
Didn't he do Lilo and Stitch? Yeah, that's so crazy.
Chris knows. He got a little offended by that. Sorry, Chris. She didn't know who she was talking to. I just
said, didn't he do Lilo and Stitch? That's crazy.
Yeah, so you take it back right now.
No, it's crazy that he just didn't develop the characters like he would.
I feel like there were a lot of changes and a lot of last minute changes.
I could see that because there was a lot thrown in there. Yeah. That definitely was brushed over.
Felt like it didn't quite all gel.
Maybe there was too many fish in the sea, too many people working on the project that had says.
I don't know. I've heard the other side of that, which sounded like it was a good tight knit group and all that, but I don't know. Stuff happens.
Maybe people didn't speak up.
Maybe.
Anyways, yeah, it was still very good. But we'll just do one more. I'll let you choose.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
I'm gonna surprise you.
All right. Oh.
Okay, one is on a date to release a film, and one, well, this one's probably worse.
Why would you pick? This one's just about a release date. How do we talk about that?
Well, because I actually had things to say on that one.
Okay. What's
I
next?
have things to say on both.
What's the horrible one after that?
Okay. When did animated shorts get so long?
And that one's just about the length of animated shorts?
I mean, it talks about, like...
Where's the meat?
It's an investigation into the uncomfortable rise of long shorts.
Uncomfortable rise. That sounds like a wedgie. That's an uncomfortable rise.
It's actually, like, somewhat interesting. We're not going to do that one. But it's somewhat interesting because it talks about...
Yeah.
Well, it talks about how now a lot of short films, like, they used to take, like... maybe like 30 into film festivals, and now they take like half because they're so long that it's like cutting out and people don't get a shot.
Oh, well, it's a good point. And now we're done with that.
And that was the article.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Article 2.
Boom.
Warner Brothers Pictures animation dates on Oh, the Places Will Go for 2028.
That's a weird sentence. Dates,
yeah.
Oh, the places you'll go for 2028.
Well, not only that, but it says in here that the project was announced. Oh, this is after
is this
Dr. Seuss's.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, the Places Will Go. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that one.
There it is.
Here's his final book he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it was announced in 2020. And they're now announcing again, because I think people probably forgot because they haven't done anything, 2028 release.
Wait, and back up. Was it DreamWorks or Warner Brothers? It was Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers. It's got a crazy, like, people on it. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because it's very interesting. It's directed by John M. Chu, who just did Wicked. And who did, the director of Wicked. And who did Crazy Rich Asians. Uh-huh. And Jill Colton, who did Open Season and... Abominable. That was a hard pronunciation.
Yeah. Jill Colton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jill Colton. Uh-huh.
And it says they note that the film is a high priority project for the studio and is being made in collaboration with Dr. Seuss Enterprises, which means...
And Bad Robot. That's J.J. Abrams' company.
Yes, which I'm getting to.
Okay.
But it kind of means to me that it's a high priority now... that John M. Chu isn't as busy on Wicked. It's the vibe I'm getting, because it talks about him again, about how he was brought into the project very early, 2020 I think it was, and then it seems like he then went and did Wicked.
He's like, bye, keep picking on development art.
But it kind of worked out for them, because they're like, oh, but he's already on the film, and now he's big, because no one knew who John M. Chu was before this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Crazy Rich Asians, I love it, but I didn't know he was connected to Crazy Rich Asians, you know?
I didn't know that till now.
Anyways, it says the book is a blueprint for a globe-trotting animated musical, right up John M. Chu's style.
You're joking, right?
Wicked is a musical.
Oh, I thought you meant the globe.
The animated part. Well, the
animated
animated part is Jill Colton, so they're going to team up.
Yes, exactly.
Following a young adventurer as they journey through the joys and heartaches and the peaks and valleys of life. It says Rob Lieber, Peter Rabbit, wrote the screenplay based on Dr. Seuss's final book. EGOT winners Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, they did The Greatest Showman and La La Land, are writing original songs for the film.
Okay, that's big.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's being produced by J.J. Abrams.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I just wonder how much is J.J. Abrams going to be involved, and how much is, especially the director that's only knows live action. What's his name?
John M. Chu.
John M. Chu.
I feel like he's going to be highly a
Sometimes
part of this.
They are, but it's rare.
I don't know. I just feel
action.
like Jill Colton, she's best known for Open Season.
The first one?
Yeah.
I mean...
Not big, but
it was a major release from, I think it was Sony at the time.
Describe major. I mean, I remember the film, but I was in the age that was watching it, and I don't even know if I watched it.
It was a major, theatrical release.
She's not set up to do a musical. That's why they got him.
Yeah. I know Jill
I think
more.
they could both.
I think more a little more art direction side of things, but she has directed obviously too. I think she's started as a background painter, so I think she's got more concept art.
I actually see John M. Chu being highly a part of it.
You do? I mean,
I do. I also
after
think
Wicked, though, honestly, he's not going to get a couple live action films thrown at him, or he's got a dream project that now he can make. Like that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like he's going to care.
Jill's been running the show for the last year or two while he was working on Wicked. And she's been loving it. Good job, Jill. I'm sure it's looking good.
I'm sure you're killing yourself.
Now he's going to come back in and go, let's blow it up. And what if we change this? And what if we added a dog? And blah, blah, and that's scary. I mean, I did see an interview with the what's his name? John M. Chu. And he seemed like a very sensible guy.
I think he'll be more involved than we think, especially because I think the people attached to the music, which I think he'll care about, are kind of like it people. I think I get where you're coming from, where he thinks he's like a hot shot, but I think the people attached to the film are such hot shots that he'll feel like it matters.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not just the hot shot thing, and he's definitely a hot shot right now, but I'm also saying I've talked and worked with live action people that want to get into animation or just have a project they want to do in animation. They have no idea how animation is done.
No, I agree.
And you can't just sort of invent all the way, till filming. And then here's the one thing that they never get. Wait a second. You storyboard the whole thing and then you only animate those shots. Where's the coverage? Don't you do 5 different views of that same line being read? And you're like, no, you do it once and you only do that one shot. And if you change your mind later, you have to go all the way back to animation and reanimate that shot from a different angle. By the way, it's got to go back to layout even before that, then to animation. You have to start all over. You can't just change shots willy-nilly in editorial.
Yeah, you can't have camera angles. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the part they don't get and they can't wrap their heads around, because most live action directors don't board. They don't storyboard. They just kind of are making it up on the set.
Well, hopefully Jill Colton's gonna pull out her big backbone.
Yeah.
And tell them, no, this isn't how it works. You might know musicals, but I know animation.
I know. I hope they get along, because Jill, that's going to be a struggle. Yeah.
I actually agree. He might try to walk all over her.
That's what I'm talking about. Is he's going to
he
have
is
all
the
these
big name right now, and she's not necessarily the big name. They should have gotten you.
Well, Jill's well known. Well, I'm going to give her that. Hey, Jill.
Is she? I've never heard of her.
I know her. So
it's not Chris Sanders.
Well, Chris Sanders, yeah, he's one of the top dogs in animation.
It's not Mark Henn, Disney legend.
Good job. You only know Mark Henn because I talk about Mark Henn all the time.
This is true.
At home, over dinner.
This is true.
Yep.
Anyways, that's that. I'm actually very interested, and I would like to see.
Long story short, it got a release date. What is that date now?
Well, it was originally 2027.
Oh, now so it's got a release year.
Well, now it's 2028.
That's it.
Yeah.
This whole article is, hey, we got a release year.
Oh, but don't worry. It says it'll be releasing in 2020. Oh, wait, sorry. March 17th.
Oh, it does have a date.
2028 in IMAX. Get that.
Oh.
IMAX.
March
That's
17th.
A crazy specific date for something so far out, is it not?
Yes. Although, I will give them that, because we're releasing a film and we were trying to find a date to release on. And you do have to work almost a year ahead at least. To get
they're
a date.
3 years ahead.
But then people will shuffle it around. Like DreamWorks will go, oh, we moved whatever to this date, and then that screws up your release date, because now you're going up against a Star Wars film or whatever.
Right.
And I know Warner Brothers doesn't do Star Wars. I know. I just put 2 things together.
3 years is a crazy advance. Also, what if
crazy.
Production doesn't go as smooth as you thought it would go?
Well, that's the joke about this article is it's not the release date that this PR that they're trying to get out there. They're just trying to get any kind of word of mouth going that they got this guy John. There's all
it says he was attached the following year.
After it started? No, but they're just trying to. What I'm saying is, they're trying to keep it alive. This project,
1,000%,
that people know about it and are hearing about it, and they didn't really have any news because that date is just it could come or go.
I think what happened is they got ahead of themselves. They just got it from whatever Dr. Seuss Enterprises. They got the film rights, and they maybe attached a couple names, and they jumped the gun in 2020 announcing it, and then they never did anything. They set it aside for a while, and now they're like, okay.
The real news is, hey everybody, we're coming back to this old project. Just wanted
literally,
you to know.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's all this article is.
Yeah, I mean it's like a 3-sentencer. Anyways,
Guess
it's
what?
a great
We're actually
list.
making it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Anyways, I gotta go to dinner.
All right. Well, you enjoy that. You take your beautiful hair and go out to dinner.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you, guys.
Love ya.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Pencilish Studios.